guys, in today's recipe, I want to show you a really simple infusion to be made with red clover as well as red raspberry leaf. It is a really powerful women's herbal tonic that supports the uterus and supports your menstrual cycle. I like to think about these two herbs as almost like they're adaptogenic, if you will. For example, if you have too much of your period, like if you're bleeding too much, it's gonna regulate it. It's gonna reduce it down to 3-4 days of bleeding instead of 20. At the same time, if you have hot flashes and you're going through perimenopause, it's gonna calm the body down and reduce hot flashes. They're pretty amazing. Jennifer is here with us today. Jennifer, if we could just pop out the red clover and red raspberry leaf pictures so that everybody can see. Here's the beautiful thing about what I want to talk to you about today is that there are so many common herbs and really weeds around us every day that we walk by without realizing their medicinal value and potency. And just before this video, I did another one on just using dandelion in 8 different applications, right? And it's just an incredible herb. As the same way, many of you have probably gone by red raspberry bushes, so you have gone through, especially red clover. Not terribly nice packaging, but as you can see, I buy it like by the pound because I drink so much of it. So red clover is, Jen, if we could post a picture, it's something that you see on side of the roads most of the time. Red clover, the Latin name is Trifolium pratensa. Trifolium is because the 3 leaves that is right under the flower. And as the flower and the 3 leaves is what you want to pick, okay? You can use them fresh. Whatever I'm going to show you today, how to make a very simple tea, or we call it in herbalism, we call it an infusion, anything that's infused into water, is a drink that you can drink every day. And I like to infuse it into a whole quart, and then the recommended dose is to sip 2 cups a day throughout the day, okay? Now, the reason why I'm talking about all of this is because we're doing a clearance sale for our Herbs for Balance program, where the whole mission of the program is to bring you everyday common herbs and make them part of your culinary experience, but also bring them into your topical or cleaning, house cleaning products. And so for that, I have, the program, which used to sell for $297, we are now doing a clearance sale for $37. You get access to the entire online program with all the cooking demos and videos of different recipes, but then you also get a physical book, which is a beautifully printed book with 140 herbal recipes, and you get a poster that is a wheel of food and herbs that divides the herbs by the different hormonal imbalances that a person has, but also like how to use herbs for your digestion, liver, blood sugar balance, and stuff like that. So Jen is going to post the link. If herbalism and herbs interest you, and especially if you're interested how to bring herbs to deal with your hormonal stuff, then this is a really perfect program for you, and it's never going to get cheaper than this. It's $37, and we are phasing out our online programs. However, for those of you who've been with us for a long time, we will continue the education. As always, that's going to be part of my brand, but also like all your access to online program remains the same as it has in the past years. So let's go back to red clover and in red raspberry leaf. I want to just read you from my notes. When I was in herbal school, we had to do notes for every herb. So I want to just share with you the clinical actions and the uses of red clover, the very common herb, weed really. So it's estrogen-like. It has phytoestrogens in it, which is more potent than genistein, which is found in soy and kudzu. So this is the reason why when women have hot flashes, your estrogen is really low. Red clover can actually help with increasing your estrogen levels, but without causing the bad estrogens to flare up. Its metabolites have shown to inhibit the binding of estradiol, the stronger estrogen, making it as anti-estrogenic. So isn't that beautiful? Like this is what I was talking about, the adaptogenic quality. Like on one hand, it helps with building estrogen, but on the other hand, it helps with the good estrogen versus the bad estrogens. If you know about estrogen dominance, this is not an herb to fear, it's actually an herb to incorporate. And so it's used for women with menopause to mitigate symptoms and postmenopause with osteoporosis, high cholesterol, triglycerides, breast and uterine cancers, as well as prostate cancer for men. as a tea, is anti-inflammatory for upper respiratory problems. Externally, it can be used for wash, compress, poultice for inflammatory skin conditions. Who should not be taking it is women who have estrogen receptor positive breast cancer history. I probably not recommend it, just as a precaution. Red raspberry leaf, on the other hand, is a wonderful uterine tonic. You know, in village herbalism, every village herbalist who will create some kind of a women's tonic would always incorporate red raspberry leaf into the formulation. For those of you who maybe experience or have family history of uterine prolapse, this is one way of preventing that from happening, because what red raspberry leaf does is it creates it strengthens the myometrium. Myo is muscle, the matrium is uterine, so the uterine muscles get strengthened up with the use of red raspberry leaf. It's highly nourishing, it's very high in potassium, calcium, magnesium, and manganese and iron. A mineral support is estrogenic, antispasmodic, uterine calmative function. It normalizes your cycle, you know, so like this is a tea week I'm making you guys. Like I said, if you're in menopause, you can do this. If your cycles are crazy all over the place or you're bleeding tremendously, this is gonna help as well. Let's see what else I have. Decreasing cramping, excess bleeding, excess clotting, relieves PMS, edema, and discomfort, normalizes uterine contractions, and increases quality of breast milk. There you have it. So the reason why you might think, hey, what's the big deal about me making a tea every time? Why don't I just go and get some tea bags and just make that into an infusion? And the reason why you don't want to do that is because I really have a problem with tea bags for a variety of reasons. Number one is, like, if I show you this herb here right now, actually, let me do that. Look at the quality of this herb. If we can do a zoom in, Cheryl. You know, you can still see the beautiful color, right, of the dried red clover, the clover bud itself, right? You know, in a tea bag, the herbs are fully cut up to very small pieces in order to create a quick infusion, right? And that way, when you cut this up, the more you cut up these herbs, the more oxidized they get. And when you smell them, like, they have no smell whatsoever. When I smell this red clover, obviously this is not like cinnamon, you know, as flavorful, but it's got that very like grassy sort of I'm out in a field sort of a smell, right? And that's why we know there's a full potency and quality to that. Volatile oils are medicinal. When you smell a tea bag that's got no smell whatsoever, right? It's it's like grinding up furniture and putting that in the hot water. It's almost as good as bad as that, right? So I'm a big advocate of, first of all, using full herbs for your infusions. Number two is that you really need a lot more herbs in order to make it a strong medicinal drink. And a tea bag is just like a teaspoon or so of tea to a cup and a half, right? Which is not enough. So I want to show you what is enough and what we're going to be, in herbalism, we do 1 to 30 in terms of weight of water to the herbs. But I'm not gonna, most of you are not gonna be doing, you're not gonna be weighing things and be obsessed about it. So the great indication is you basically, you will just use red clover, and then we're gonna be using red raspberry leaves as the second herb. And we're gonna do that so that we fill up about a third, so we still need more. We're gonna fill up about a third of this jar with herbs before we put the water in. And that's gonna be about your 1 to 30 ratio that's needed. And this is the leaf. Okay, so as you can see, I've got that covered about 1/3. I might put a little bit more in. Okay, there we go. And then what we're gonna do, so just boil some water. You can also, by the way, make a cold water infusion, which means that you just put cold water in and then leave it out in the sun. You make a sun infusion when you start off with cold water, and then you just leave it out and leave it out for 24 hours, 12 to 24 hours, and it will infuse beautifully. With herbs that are leaves or flower buds, you don't need that hot water right away. It's a quick infusion, but it's the cold water that will do equally well. And the water is basically okay, there we go. Okay, I might need to add a little more water to it and then just give it a good shake. I'm using, it just was hot water and now it's cold, but so what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna leave it out, you guys, and drink it the next day. This is the easiest way just to mix everything in, is to do this. And yeah, and that's it. You can just basically put the lid on. Leave it out for 12 to 24 hours. And I actually kind of like cold infusions a lot better than hot water because it doesn't bring out the bitterness of the herbs. If you're not a big fan of bitterness, this is a really wonderful way of infusing your tea. All right, well, how simple was that? And as you can see, this is very different. You're gonna get like 4 servings out of this, or 4 cups, right? Almost 4 cups. It's gonna be a very different experience from when you're doing a tea bag. The other thing that I don't like about tea bags is that most of them are using paper or plastic, and the paper is typically bleached, and so chlorine or plastic doesn't belong in your body. And my dog is very Nella. Oh yeah, she's got a toy up there. Forgot to close the door. All right, let's see what questions are you guys posting here. And don't think we have a lot of questions for this one. So who here is gonna make this? I mean, how simple is that, right? It's just a beautiful, simple infusion. All right, you guys, so I hope this was inspiring for you. Just what a beautiful tea infusion to addressing so many different issues. And you know, one of the things with herbs is unlike medicine, right, is that the side effects almost, except for a few herbs, things like that is really, really safe. And the other thing I would like to stress is that if you really want to get the benefit of herbs, you're gonna do this like small doses every day, and you will feel the difference probably within a month or 2. And that's the hard thing about. We have questions. Where do you buy your leaves? Okay, I buy my herbs. Your leaves, it says. Oh yeah, so I buy them from these ones I both got on Amazon. So this is from Anthony's organic dried red raspberry leaves. And this one is, I really like this co-op called Frontiers. Can we do a zoom in on Frontiers co-op? It's right here. That's a really great one. But the only thing with them is they sell everything in 1-pound bags, all right? The other one is that, so I got both of these on Amazon. And then the other one that you can do is you can get from Mountain Rose Herbs. It's another great source to go to. And then you get smaller doses there. Another question we have is, when do you pick your red clover? Great question. Actually, right now, like the minute they come out, it's really great time. And what you want to pick is the bud and the 3 leaves. Okay, don't forget about the rest of the leaves, and especially when they start growing higher. You just take the bud with the 3 leaves. I think we have some other question that might be coming in, and I will have to go because I do have an appointment. It was lovely talking to you guys. I hope this is something you're gonna try, and really just totally worth it, just for how simple it is and what amazing things it can do to your body. And herbs interest you, take advantage of the clearance sale that we have currently going on with the Herbs for Balance program. You can get the whole package, including online access, book, and poster for just $37. All right, everybody, have a lovely weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.